I have a confession. I like NASCAR. And no, I am not from America. Yes, I know, I'm gonna get a lot of hate because it's all about turning left for 3 hours. But there's actually more than just that. I wish I could explain it, but we will be here all day long, so I will let someone else explain it. I think I will get straight to the point. NASCAR is pretty famous for what it's worth. Back in the 90s to the mid 2000s, NASCAR is what you could proclaim as the golden age. Better looking cars, exciting racing, and less bullcrap rules. It was a time when NASCAR was at its peak. So much great moments happened throughout the era. And then you look at what happened today, and you then started to miss the good old days. But hey, what does this have to do with today's video? Well, seeing that NASCAR is coming back, or should I say, already started with the clash this weekend. See, even the lizard likes NASCAR. I wanna talk about a NASCAR game. Not just your typical NASCAR, but something with a twist. From the 90s to 2000s, we have plenty of NASCAR games that attempts to emulate the realism of racing. And our 2003, Dirt to Daytona, down to 2004 are highly regarded by the community to be the holy trinity, much like Ace Combat. I mean, the 2010s and 20s also have some games, but why should we talk about them? Anyway, there's too many good NASCAR games, but there's one that deviates from the realistic material to be turned into something mayhem. Redwood Shores is definitely not a strange name to anyone, considering they were also known by the name Visceral Games. But looking back at their history, they were formed back in 1998, developing multiple games, mainly action genre, that got their name up in the alley of everyone. And racing games weren't up on their agenda. Well, it was the case until 2000. Nascar Rumble is developed by Redwood Shores, or I'm gonna call it Studio Redwood, and published by EA on February 3rd, 2000 for the original PlayStation. Happy late birthday. At first glances, it looks like a generic arcade racer, but then you get to the actual race. You know what? It's better than Mario Kart. More on that later. Let's start off with the controls. Now you might be thinking it will be hard to control considering real life cars have high aerodynamics, which means the car could spin out easily. But here, there's no such thing, since 1. It's an arcade racer, which you probably recognize already. If not, I don't know what you're doing with your life. And 2. The car themselves have some weight and you have to control them, but the weight themselves aren't that heavy, where you will find cornering to be precisely hard. All tracks have corners to navigate through and you can't flat out through any of them. Instead, as you approach them, you can try to slow down or even tap the brake button to initiate a small drift to make cornering easier. It's not to say the car themselves have much good handling, as they are also slidey if you pay close attention, but at the same time, they are not too bad when you have trouble maneuvering them, not like Daytona 2001. Whichever car you choose will have the same handling, so don't worry about messing anything up. Likewise, due to the small issue, NASCAR and non-NASCAR fans will have no problem getting their hands on this game. I have been playing this for more than 10 years now, and even when I started for the first time, I was able to get the grip of it and rumble along with it. The controls are very responsive, and you can only blame yourself if you still screw it up, because honestly, that means you are terrible and you are a casual Mario Kart player. Graphic wise, I thought they were pretty good for its time, and I will go as far as to say it's not a product of its time for the most part. The texture doesn't look too blurry, and the polygons aren't that blocky to the point that it obstructs the view of the surroundings, and you can still see where you're going, whether ahead or behind, without anything holding you back. The environment looks nice depending on which locations you are in, with not much pop-in that can be seen, unlike Daytona on the Sarton. However, not all roads are smooth, as there are also bumpy sections. The frame rate is the biggest hurdle that the console attempts to overcome, and with the system showing its age around the time when PlayStation 2 is coming in couple of months. Wait, hang on. Let me check it again. Oh wait. And when PlayStation 2 is coming out in less than a month's time. Of course, it got some rough edges. It's apparent when you're racing against each other rivals on the same screen, where the game have some slight stuttering. But at some occasion, especially when you fly up near the skybox, the frame rate suddenly becomes smooth before crashing down ego landing style. I guess Redwood were attempting to push the console to its absolute limit, and I guess it worked in some way, as the game doesn't really struggle to run for the most part. And when you think about it, I gotta give credit to Studio Redwood for making this game look good. Doesn't matter how much chaos going on, you can bet your closet that your impression will still be high. Personally, I don't really care for the whole frame rate saga. Like, who cares about frame rate as long as the game is playable? Like, a slight frame drop will not be the end of the world scenario. I seriously don't know why someone out there always complain about frame rate. Who cares if the game doesn't run at solid 60 frames per second? The game still plays the same visual-wise. It's like getting a Pepsi. Oh wait, don't remind me that. It's like getting a Diet Dr. Cow. Just because I only put one instead of couple ice cubes, it's still Diet Dr. Cow. Get alive. Don't worry, I am okay. Moving on to the game itself, you have your single race, championship, and time trial. You know the drill. Go to championship, win the cup, unlock new car, go do the next one, go to championship, win the cup, unlock new car, go do the next one, rinse and repeat. But if you look closer, there's another few modes available. Standard is basically your typical win it all championship. Cyber Team is where everything takes a twist. You and your AI rival, or should I say your AI companion, pick a ride and work together as a teammate. Whoever finishes higher will earn points, which could either work or fail, as you couldn't simply rely on your teammate to do all the job. Or maybe you could, I don't know. You could even team up with your friend for the championship. If you have friends anyway. Legend, where it's mostly the same as standard, but one of the rival is a legendary driver that you have to beat, and winning their championship is vital. You know, kinda like Top Gear. There's also Showdown mode, after you finish everything else. Basically, you pick one rival for a head-to-head race. Have you ever imagined a race between Jeff Gordon and Richard Petty? Bobby Labonte with Jeff Burton? Kenny Urban with Ken Schrader? Let the wet dream commence. It's raining hard here. The driver rosters are based off the 1999 Spring Cup Series. Busch Cup Series. Winston Cup Series. There we go. And also Camping Truck Series. Craftsman's Cup Series. While also adding some legendary drivers from the past like Kelly Yarborough, Debbie Allison, David Pearson, Alan Kowicki the Underbird, and of course the man, the legend, Richard Petty. But there's more than just selecting a driver. You see, by completing more championships, you will then unlock more variation of each cars. You start off with a normal regular obvious real life car, but the game has the audacity to call it a rookie. Can't blame them since they are child's play compared to the latter two. Studio Redwood, you are base. If you look over here, there is Pro and Elite, which makes the car look even more like an art beast hungry for racing. I am beast, that's what he screams, I can have a chance, that's what he wants, that's what I deserve. The car don't just have aesthetic values, but also have increased stats, making the game even fun. If this is what NASCAR Next Gen can look like, then I will have no regrets.
Finders keepers.
I guess it's time to talk about the fish cake and potato of this video. Why is this game better than Mario Kart? First up, the locations. You pick one of your favorite driver and try to win the race, but it's not easy as you think it is. You don't just turn left for 3 or more laps, as the track here are tricky. That's the best I could describe it. There are a total of 21 tracks, splitting across 7 locations. Each locations have 3 tracks within each other, and each of them have locations revolving specific theme to keep the game fresh. Each of them were able to provide different amount of experiences for the player to get immersed into. Considering this is a NASCAR game, you can bet there are elements of American being inserted here. There's this one where you drive at the beach, which I guess is a reference to Daytona Beach, a track that NASCAR raced in the past. How about this one where you race across the southern region? Sweet Home Alabama, oh wait, wrong video. Or this one where you drive in a tiny circle, etc. All of which were able to provide a sense of atmosphere that breaks out of the box from your usual stock car racing. In real life, the racers go around in a speedway with some occasional road courses, which are very common. But when we transitioned to the game, we did not expect to race on these various amount of circuit. The imagination or meter exceeded the limit, removing any safety precautions while letting all hell break loose. This type of racing is getting relatively close to the Isle of Man TT, which is notorious for racing on an open highway at full velocity, away from full medical support. By the way, go watch some races, you will thank me later. That's how it feels here, to drive on some public road, racing for victory, disregarding any risk of losing lives. Man, I respect NASCAR drivers, not like F1 where they are too scared to drive in the rain. And that's the reason I enjoy this more than Mario Kart. I mean, in Mario Kart, you have your usual Mushroom Kingdom, Bowser Castle, Rainbow World, etc. While there's also other unique tracks, the rest just fall within the Mushroom Kingdom universe and didn't really expand on the game capability. Also in Nascar Rumble, each tracks contains shortcuts for you to access. And then you look back at Mario Kart. Not all tracks have this feature, so eat my dust. Next up is the audio, which is top notch. The noises being made when you make contact with someone else, the engine roaring when you're going fast, all of which adds more to the excitement or meter. All of the audio combined really motivates you to keep on going, as the sound effects here are well composed. The soundtracks, I dare to say, are a masterpiece as well. When you enter the main menu, you are greeted with this tune that sounds like you're in a real business and the tension is running high. Each locations also have their specific soundtracks to fit well with the theme of the location, and it works like a fine wine.
We'll keep the track going. Where's he going? there. I think your one fan just left to get knocked.
Oh yeah, the famous guitarist also composed 3 of the soundtracks for the game, which unfortunately I do not know. But what I know is just Horno. Yup, that's the Waco Warner guy, Ironhide, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. Wait, did I just say Crash and Spyro?
Coco back.
Oh, a teleporter, huh? I think Moneybags already has one of those. Yeah, and Moneybags' teleporter is smaller. Chance, I've beaten bigger baddies than you. All I have to do is run around you a few times while I figure out your weakness.
I have been playing those games so many times, and I somehow don't know that's him. Oh my god, I feel useless. Anyway, just Horno. That man also makes an appearance in this game where he talks about the most random thing you can ever imagine, and it's hilarious.
Hey, how's the big chips? No, don't just give it away. Live. Later days, dude. Now, remember how this feels. Did you see that? Did you see what he just did? Don't get cocky. I think our little friends are still back there. Woo! Turn down that energy. Oh, great. Woo, yeah! Oh, I think you hurt his feelings. You on that, sucker. What is it? Sunday drive with Grandma?
And finally, the main reason why this game is better than Mario Kart is of course the power-ups. There's no secret that is the most essential thing to exist in kart racing. Without that, you probably won't have Mario Kart. Regarding the power-ups, you pick one up, gets a random item, and it either works on you or against your favorite. Each item contains specific things that always drive us insane. But nothing prepares us than this trash over here. This thing is the bane of our existence, and how we wish there's a way around this stuff. Guess what? You won't see this in Nascar Rumble. The developer seemed to understand the unfairness of Mario Kart and decided to fix it for their game, and the result is nothing but excellent. Like your usual Mario Kart fashion, there are item boxes scattered everywhere on the track. Trust me, whichever item that you manage to grab never provide an unfair advantage to your rival. The item never feel one-sided to the point where you feel like the race is rigged beyond your comprehension. Each item are as good as they sound. First category, codename Saw One, Slow One. Twister, or should I say Tornado, when being unleashed, it moves swiftly forward and obliterates anything ahead. When it approaches any car, it acts like a normal tornado. The gust of wind lifts up any of the car, sending it airborne for a few seconds before crashing down like a hopes and dream. I live in a country where there is no tornado, thank goodness, but after experiencing this one, I can say I am scared of meeting one. Next up is the storm. Like tornado, it can travel a long distance until it meets its victim, regardless of which position. Once it touches you, well, your view will be obstructed by this stormy cloud that keeps raining on you. You know, like blooper, but this storm blows this out of the water. Not only you can't partially see what's ahead, but it also tries to steal the control of your car, making you fumbling all over the place while you continue fighting to regain the full control. Look at this. I'm not even doing anything. It's a storm having a mind of its own, a sentient storm. And finally, this snowflake. It travels down the road and freezes on whoever that was unfortunate enough for him to stumble across. Upon getting freeze, you lose all controls and can only accelerate in the last direction input. Sometimes it works, sometimes you just bite your tongue and brace for impact. It feels very innovative considering this type of power-up never exists in the history of Mario Kart. As far as I know, I don't ever recall seeing the presence of this item in any of the Mario Kart games. I mean Mario Kart mainline games. Besides, you are not a good game anyway. And that's why Nascar Rumble is better than Mario Kart. You must be curious, why do I name it Saw One Slow One? Well, here's the thing. Whenever any of the three items was summoned, a text will appear on the screen telling you to slow down. Why would I slow down? I mean, I'm in a race. Oh, it actually works. That's right. By slowing down, you will be able to dodge off the projectile being thrown at you. While other kart racers, especially Mario Kart, let you do this. In that game, you try to slow down, you will still get hit. But here, if you ever slow down, you can still keep on going. Granted, slowing down means letting the AI catch up to you, but if you're good enough, you can build a big gap and won't have to worry when you slow down. Oh, did I mention there's no rubber banding here? Unlike the other kart racers, here there's no signs of rubber banding. I can assure there's no cheat code being used, and it all depends on your skill, so get good at it. Next category, codename C1P1. These two items can be dropped onto the track, leaving it to unsuspected victim to pick it up and suffer with it. First up, oil slick, which makes your car very slippery. As if your car isn't bad enough with sliding controls, the thing right here can make your experience even frantic. It's like driving a slick tires on a wet circuit. Your pit lane is telling you to box for interest, but you told them to shut up. Second is this gas that can make your car lose all throttle and speed. You could be a scooter layer for a lolly, filled with determination, and ends up breaking everyone's heart. That's all to it for this category. And finally, third category, miscellaneous. Starting with Holy Grail, you have this shield which turns you into invisible being, avoiding anything being thrown at you. Shockwave, where using it will release a big force that kicks everyone nearby you away. It works pretty effectively, keeping anyone away from you, just like your social life. Big Rumble, or as I like to call it, Angry Bull, adds a force field in front of your car where you can send any cars that touches it up into the atmosphere. This thing increases your grip, making cornering much easier, making handling much more satisfying. And this thing right here gives you some boost for a brief moment, blasting by some of the rivals, leaving them in the dust. And Joker, which contains item that randomly gives you a random item. The item is unpredictable and you can get unpredictable item at any moment. With all three categories being combined together, you got a recipe for the delicious last course. When you take it onto the road with other rivals, be prepared for the craziest race in your life. The moment everyone were able to grab one of the items, be prepared as the chaos is about to unfold. Whatever you can do, the AI can do it as well. It doesn't take too long before you see yourself flying all over the place. This is the first lap, and within 10 seconds, all hell's break loose, and everyone are trying to kill each other. Just look at this carnage. It's so silly, it doesn't make any sense to the point that it makes it so addicting. Trying to maneuver through the war zone unscathed but ultimately gets dragged into the battle. It's exhilarating. See, even the rain is coming back to agree with me. Honestly, despite seeing myself crashing everywhere and ends up finishing last, I never get mad at all. The fact that you can fall to last place before fighting your way to catch the field from a branch is just sweet. It's like burnout where you want to keep going no matter how hard you fail. NASCAR Rumble provides that same experience. You can start anywhere you want, find the best path, using alternate route to avoid all hazards, etc. You can have all sorts of strategy in your disposal to aim for the checkered flag. And that's my review on NASCAR Rumble. A really good alternative to Mario Kart, and dare I say, a much better game than Mario Kart. In the day and age where we constantly talk about which kart racer is the best, NASCAR Rumble is a game that not much talks about. The game is fundamentally better than Mario Kart, and up there with other games like Sonic, Crash, just to name a few. NASCAR Rumble is so unique in a way that it managed to differentiate itself from other kart racers. To this day, I have yet to see anyone make a game based off that formula. There are companies that try to replicate the success, but it either pander towards the Mario Kart shtick, or it just tries so hard to be different and falls flat as well. Honestly, despite playing this game for more than 10 years, I still come back to this game, and to be fair, it's in my top 5 favorite PlayStation racing game. But unfortunately, Rallycross will still be on top. Whether you are NASCAR fans or not, I highly recommend this game to you. It deserves a chance, but this wouldn't be the last time we heard from the series. Like I said, PlayStation 2 was on the horizon, and a year later, Studio Redwood releases Rumble Racing, which you could call it a direct sequel, but without any license from NASCAR. It's okay though, the game still plays really fun, plays identically, and most importantly, the game can stand on its own. That's all I gotta say with this video. If you enjoy what you see, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. Comment below your opinion on this video. Have you played it? Have you played this game? Let's have a peaceful discussion. And if you wanna follow me on what I'm doing, follow me on Twitter because I'm mostly active there. Thank you for watching, and excuse me while I play more NASCAR Rumble.